So The Rock came back on SmackDown. The general consensus of his promo is that people didn't like it. His opinion is more than justified to have. It was pretty long. If you took about 10 minutes off of this, you probably still could accomplish the exact same thing. But I try to be a positive guy. You know, I just want to put a positive spin on this. And looking at what he told Cody Rhodes,
I want your soul.
I think we're still on the ride that The Rock has taken us on. And I want to justify what looks like a new direction for the final boss. Allow me to take you on The Rock's ride.
Sit back, know your role, shut your mouth, and enjoy the ride that The Rock is going to take your candy asses on.
The Rock's motivation of coming back to WWE was to put on the biggest box office match in wrestling history since him and John Cena.
Should The Rock sit at the head of the table?
Also the biggest match that their family could ever put on, that's him versus Roman Reigns. And in the main event, the anniversary of WrestleMania, WrestleMania 40. It wasn't to steal Cody's main event, it wasn't to embarrass Cody Rhodes, but it did, understandably. So understandably, Cody Rhodes fought back.
Here is bullshit.
And we witnessed the character motivation completely change for The Rock in front of our eyes. I saw it literally in front of my eyes at the WrestleMania kickoff press conference. And we didn't even realize what kind of ride The Rock was gonna take us on. I keep saying that because I think it's just like the funniest line ever.
And enjoy the ride that The Rock is going to take your candy asses on.
When Cody Rhodes said this,
if the High Chief, his grandfather, was here, they'd be ashamed of you.
this is the first time that someone actually used the High Chief Peter Maivia's name in a weaponized statement. And it's one thing to talk about The Rock's family, but when you insult The Rock's grandfather, Ooh, buddy, I'm sorry for you. Personally, I get it. I'm a grandma's boy, so like if someone talked bad on my grandma, like I'm making my life goal now to make your life hell. And I think that's what The Rock's was for Cody Rhodes. The Rock has such a deep connection with his grandfather. He always talks about him on promos, on interviews, on how important he was not to just his wrestling career, but the overall industry of professional wrestling and for Samoans in professional wrestling. Even the Maui character The Rock plays on Moana is inspired from his grandfather. Look at the resemblance. You see the tattoos, you see the hair. It is literally a caricature of his grandfather. It was no longer about the family having the biggest stage to compete on for The Rock. It was quite literally making Cody Rhodes' life a living hell. This is why Roman's motivation of still being the head of the table, the champion, the leader of the family was still intact. He actually didn't change at all in this. He still hasn't really changed at all in this. But for The Rock, I mean, come on, let's keep it a buck. The Rock already knows that he is the leader of the family. He is the breadwinner. He is the man. There's really no competition there, regardless of how popular Roman can get. The Rock is always going to be on top because he's literally his boss. That's why it's so easy for Dwayne to push that family beef aside, because he can always revisit that whenever and still claim he's the top of the family because he is. But his blonde-haired kid trying to finish his story, within that story, there's a chapter that's insulting the High Chief Peter Maivia, and that The Rock wouldn't let that slide. You can hear in Rock's soul when he said, "My family," like he meant that.
When you're talking about his ancestors, you're talking about my ancestors.
He felt disrespected, so he turned into the final boss. He was already their boss, and he's going to use the power that he has in order to ruin Cody Rhodes' life, which is what he's trying to still do to this day. He does not like him. Black Air Force energy every day. Rock was able to join forces with Roman, even let Roman be his tribal chief.
I acknowledge you as my tribal chief.
Just in order to get to the point where he could put his hands on Cody Rhodes, and they did that for weeks on weeks on weeks, leading to the tag team match in the main event of night 1 at WrestleMania 40, where The Rock finished his story in one sense, but within that, Cody still had the next night to worry about, facing Roman Reigns in a Bloodline Rules match, where The Rock even got involved because he did not want Cody to win this. And everybody and their mama started pouring into the ring, and eventually Cody Rhodes was able to defeat Roman Reigns, and for Dwayne Johnson, it was still on site. The next night on Raw, Cody came out celebrating his new championship win, and The Rock would come out with his People Championship, and he would ask if he can also hold Cody's. It was weird. The tension was crazy. But it felt like Rock's new motivation was to take the WWE Championship off of Cody Rhodes, to the point that anytime Cody would feud with someone, it was AJ Styles or Kevin Owens, fill in the blank, we were all just waiting for The Rock to come back. Because like at the end of the day, we know what this is going to lead to. Cody versus The Rock for the WWE Championship. And we wouldn't even see The Rock till later that year at Bad Blood, after him and Roman Reigns came back together in a main event tag team match, taking on Solo and Jacob. Wherever they would win, The Rock would make sure that the last person that you saw on the screen before it went to black was him. Another attempt to ruin Cody's moment. Now, somewhere within these months, The Rock's motivation clearly changed. It was no longer about facing Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. It was now owning Cody Rhodes. What can I say? Rock's a weird guy. The Rock invited him to the Maui 2 premiere in Hawaii. Cody brought his family, had a great time. And apparently him and Rock actually squashed their beef during this event from what we knew. The next time we see the final boss will be on the Raw debut on Netflix. Now, of course, he had to come out and do some business talk because, again, he is the final boss. Boss is that second word. Handle some business talk, talking about Raw on Netflix, Then he would turn to Cody Rhodes, who he made sure was sitting front row. He would talk about how they're friends, they put stuff behind them, they're moving forward, how great of a champion he is. Really just on Cody Rhodes. He was glazing him, and it works. We would see The Rock again the next night on NXT, where it didn't seem like he was really talking about anything, kind of just gave a rambling promo just to maybe boost those NXT ratings. Did a segment backstage with Ava to put them on screen. He had worked with Ethan Page, just smacked him in the butt. You know, like, this is an HR violation. I'm just saying, like,
Get your sweet ass on out of here.
we'll get to how you put your hands on Cody's face on SmackDown a little bit. I'm just saying, like, you are an HR disaster. If I'm any of these guys, I'm filing a complaint. Like, you are a weird dude. But within that, The Rock also said how he steps in front of us.
That The Rock is the final boss, thinking 20 steps ahead, and enjoy the ride that The Rock is taking him on.
That brings us to recently on SmackDown. Now, The Rock came out because he's a final boss. Talks about business. WrestleMania is going to New Orleans soon. I'm excited. I'm gonna go to it. But then he brings out the WWE Champion. And he's still doing the same old thing, how we're friends, you're a great champion, oh my God, Cody, I love you. He puts his hand on his face, keeps his hand on his face a bit too long, is lingering. Rock, again, HR violations all across the board. I don't know who is HR or who is above you, but someone needs to look into this. It's getting weird. He tells Cody he wants him to be his champion. And not that he wants the WWE Championship, he wants Cody's soul. The Rock, you are a odd guy. You are a weird dude. I understand the get back. You disrespect grandpa. That can't slide. But you are a weird guy. The Rock wants Cody Rhodes to be his new corporate champion. And The Rock knows all too well about being a corporate champion. He's done it. He's been there. He knows he can be successful. But he told Cody that he'll be at Elimination Chamber in Toronto. And he'll wait Cody's answer then. Rock, you're a weird guy. What can I say? I give all this background to say that The Rock's story with Cody Rhodes, it is something that's actually transcending what professional wrestling is. A lot of people didn't like the fact that Rock went on that post-press conference and said that this doesn't have to lead to me versus Cody Rhodes in a match. It doesn't. It probably will, though. He's talking, he's trying to throw you off, probably. And maybe if it doesn't, I also understand why. We really don't need to see The Rock versus Cody Rhodes. What we need to see is The Rock versus Roman Reigns. Because if he's able to morph Cody into that corporate champion, into that badass heel, with every supervillain, he's a superhero. Roman Reigns is a newly crowned babyface. The babyface WWE always wanted him to be. Why can't a tide shift? And now he's the guy going after Cody Rhodes, trying to defeat the nightmare of America. The match that's going to culminate to isn't going to be Cody versus The Rock. It's going to be The Rock and Roman. And I think it might be WrestleMania 42. I don't think we're going to get it this year. I think if it happened this year is a bit too quick. We're a bit too close. Like, yes, we're still like 2 months away, but that still feels too close for a match of that magnitude to be built. Also, Rock, if we selling souls, I will gladly hand mine over. What do I get for it? It's not worth a lot. I'll sell it for an interview. What's your Waffle House order? In today's culture of social media and entertainment and television, it's very, we want it right now. And if we can't see the foresight of it, then I don't want to watch it. We just gotta let it play out. Like, give it a few months before we say it sucks. I'm personally a hypocrite of this because I insulted The Rock's promo on Raw because to me it made no sense. But then I opened up my third eye. I thought about it and I was like, you know, let me let Rock take me on this ride right now. Sit down, get some popcorn, and enjoy the ride that The Rock is currently taking us on. The High Chief, the final boss, Tooth Fairy. Don't worry, we'll talk more about Solo and Jacob in another video because, man, that was a lot. Now, if you guys want to watch some more videos related to the Bloodline, we have some right down here, and subscribe to the channel to watch a bunch of different wrestling interviews. My name's Malcolm, and we're out.